Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Steelers Mason Rudolph gets real about not earning his $1,080,000 salary. The Pittsburgh Steelers are set to take on the Cincinnati Bengals this weekend in a game that could be do or die for their playoff hopes. The Steelers' loss to the Indianapolis Colts has them on the outside looking in regards to the current AFC playoff picture. The Steelers are hoping for improved play from George Pickens, who received a ton of hype before the season but was ripped for his effort versus the Colts. Seven-time champion Tom Brady came to the defense of a Steelers defender who was ejected for his hit on Michael Pittman Jr. recently. A familiar Steelers face, QB Mason Rudolph, shared his innermost thoughts about whether he believes he's earned his salary or not during what has been an up-and-down year for Pittsburgh. With QBs Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky likely to sit the bench this weekend, the Steelers' playoff hopes may come down to Mason Rudolph. The ex-Oklahoma State Cowboy has shown the talent and moxie necessary to win games in the past. Recently, reporter Mike DeFabua shared a quote from Rudolph on his mindset regarding whether he has earned his salary or not as a third-string QB up until now. Rudolph is set to start against breakout backup star Jake Browning of the Bengals. The Steelers' matchup is slated for 4:30 p.m. in Pittsburgh, and it could be the opportunity of a lifetime for Rudolph to prove he belongs against a fellow playoff contender. Rudolph was announced as Saturday's likely starter over Mitch Trubisky on Monday, according to coach Mike Tomlin. Rudolph has completed 2 passes for 3 yards on the year and has taken 1 sack. First-week starter Kenny Pickett, recovering from ankle surgery, has also not been ruled out according to recent reports. For now, it appears as though Rudolph is a sure bet to take the field as Pittsburgh's starter on Saturday, a development that could pay big dividends for Pittsburgh against their AFC North foes. A franchise quarterback who didn't exactly welcome him with open arms to the Pittsburgh Steelers after the club selected Rudolph in the 3rd round of the 2018 draft. Being caught in the middle of an ugly incident with Cleveland's Myles Garrett in 2019 that remains one of the darkest chapters in recent NFL history. Being replaced by an undrafted rookie free agent. Finishing a distant 3rd in a 3-man race to be Ben Roethlisberger's replacement after Roethlisberger retired 2 years ago. The Steelers need to bench George Pickens. For the umpteenth time this season, George Pickens finds himself in hot water. After being seen not blocking on a Jaylen Warren one inside the red zone, Pickens was asked about his effort, to which he said everyone questioning his effort don't play football. Pickens went on a passive-aggressive spiel saying that everyone praised him for his blocking last season, or berating him for the play against the Colts. Pickens has been the focal point of criticism for multiple reasons at multiple different times this year. He cleared his social media of anything Steelers related, to which he played off as people reading too far into things. His emotions have also come out more often than not. On top of all that, though, it seems that every defensive leader on the Steelers roster has subtly called out Pickens' effort. After their loss to New England, Minkah Fitzpatrick said that some guys just want everything handed to them and don't want to work for the results. Cam Hayward echoed Fitzpatrick, saying the Steelers need to learn or change who's in the locker room. Plus, TJ Watt slammed players for not wanting to practice and not showing effort in practice. If Mike Tomlin were consistent and serious, he would bench Pickens. He did it to Chuck Okorafor for questioning the offensive game plan. If it's a one-strike and you're out situation for Okorafor, why has Pickens been allowed to be a constant distraction all season? We all know the answer, because who else will the Steelers rely on at receiver? When Okorafor was benched, they put their first-round pick, Broderick Jones, at right tackle. Who is behind Pickens? Allen Robinson? Calvin Austin? It's such a far downgrade at that position if you bench number 14, but at this point, why does it matter? The season has already slipped away. The Steelers have a very slim chance of making the playoffs. They should at least stand on the principles that they swear still matter. Is this to say they need to give up on Pickens and ship him out of town? No. At the end of the day, he is a 23-year-old who is still figuring out how to be a professional football player and navigate the ebbs and flows that come with it. However, he isn't going to learn without consequences. If it doesn't get better, Or if it becomes evident that he isn't a good locker room fit, then you move him and get a couple draft picks in return. The next few weeks will determine a lot for the Steelers going forward. Is their head coach going to be back? What will they do about their subpar quarterback situation? Will actual progressive changes be made? Time will tell. Steelers trade for QB in latest mock draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers land their quarterback of the future in the latest NFL mock draft, but how they got their next passer came with a move in the draft order. In CBS Sports' Ryan Wilson's latest mock draft, the Steelers make a move near the top 10, trading with the Green Bay Packers to move up to pick number 11 and selecting Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. in exchange. They give up the 16th overall pick. The Steelers' offense feels like it's coming from the 1850s, not even the 1950s, Wilson said. And what you get from Michael Penix Jr. is a guy who can throw the deep ball. And guess what Deontay Johnson and George Pickens like to do? Run deep. Now, who knows what this looks like a year from now with so much going on in the locker. Michael Penix Jr. is special. He's one of if not the best deep ball thrower in college football. Penix hasn't been listed amongst those in the top 15 in most mock drafts, but could certainly find himself climbing as we head into the offseason. The Steelers making a move up the draft board for a quarterback makes a lot of sense and is definitely on that table for this franchise. For Penix? We'll have to wait and see how far he climbs. But don't rule out the Steelers changing spots and looking for some trade action in the early part of the first round. Michael Terrence Penix Jr. Penix born May 8, 2000, is an American football quarterback for the Washington Huskies of the Pac-12 Conference. He previously played for the Indiana Hoosiers of the Big Ten Conference before transferring to Washington in 2022. He won the Maxwell Award in 2023 after leading Washington to the college football playoff and was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. Born and raised in Dade City, Florida, Penix attended Tampa Bay Technical High School and started at quarterback for the Titans for 2 seasons, passing for 4,243 yards with 61 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. He committed to Indiana University to play college football. As a true freshman in 2018 at Indiana, Penix played in 3 games, suffered a torn ACL, and was redshirted. He completed 21 of 34 passes for 219 yards and a touchdown. 6, named the starter entering the 2019 season. Penix, however, only played in 6 games due to injury, completing 110 of 160 passes for 1,394 yards, with 10 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And you fan, what do you think of the Michael Penix Jr. situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.